Honest, dedicated, consistent, faithful, outspoken, controversial. You can describe Franklin Graham in many different ways. He's also an evangelist, best-selling author, businessman, and a tireless international relief worker. You could also argue he's inherited his father's reputation of being the closest thing to a moral compass this country has right now. And in that area, as I found out when I spent some time with him recently, he's not optimistic at all.
My father never sought to be famous. He never wanted to be well known. And even today, you know, if someone were to ask him about his notoriety, he would just kind of say, it wasn't me, it was God that did it. It's very difficult there right now. The South is involved in a civil war.
And today, Franklin Graham is using that divine guidance to run Samaritan's Purse, the massive humanitarian organization based in Boone, North Carolina, and whose walls are covered with illustrations of how it's helping impoverished people around the world. But like his father, Graham is still very much in touch with what's happening back home. You have faced some criticism over the years of being more outspoken than your father on many different issues. I'm wondering if this is something your dad has ever talked to you about. Has he ever come to you and said, Franklin, you need to calm it down a little bit?
No.
Really?
No, never. Yeah. My father was also critical. He was critical of communism. He was critical of the sex and violence in Hollywood. In recent years, he certainly came out in support of Amendment 1 here in this state.
Amendment 1, North Carolina's voter-approved gay marriage ban, and one federal judge's most recently struck down.
I give you this ring.
Marriage is defined between a man and a woman, and it's never been defined between two women or two men. God is the one who instituted marriage, and for our politicians and our judges to now say something contrary to God's law and teaching is a sad day.
Do you believe homosexuality is a choice?
As a man, I'm attracted to women, but I have made a commitment to my wife. Now, just because I'm attracted to a woman, does that mean that I have the license to go ahead and do whatever I want just because that's the way I feel and that's my attraction? I have to say no. And so I understand a person who may have come from a gay background where they are attracted to someone from another sex, but you have to say no. And you have to take those feelings and suppress them and ask for God's help in doing that.
But suppressing feelings isn't something Graham does regarding the aftermath of the highly publicized deaths of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, and Eric Garner in New York City.
Both of these young men are dead because they refused to obey the police. And that's sad, but we're becoming so lawless in many of our communities. What happened to both of them is a shame. It should have never happened.
How would you describe the country's moral fabric right now?
I believe that the moral foundation of this nation is eroding, and it has serious cracks in our moral foundation. And I'm not sure we'll ever get it back. I'm not sure that this country can be turned around or can be saved. I have no faith in the Democratic Party. I don't have any faith in the Republican Party. Really? I don't believe that there's candidates out there that can change this, because both parties, and I don't even know who the Tea Party is, but I just don't have faith that the politicians of this nation can take a stand for the moral issues that we face and turn it around.
As for his father, he said at 96 years old, the Reverend Dr. Billy Graham's health is fairly good. He just doesn't have much energy and his conversations are very short, but his mind is still quite sharp. Now, Franklin Graham also has some strong thoughts about what's happening in the world right now, namely terrorism and Ebola. You will not want to miss our conversation on those topics tonight on the Fox 8 10 o'clock news. And to watch clips of my entire interview with Franklin Graham, just find this story on our website, myfox8.com.